Hey everyone, this is Lightstar, and we've got Inner Child coming out today. This is what we're gonna play with. Your inner child is gonna have some fun. My inner child's gonna have some fun. We're gonna enjoy life, and that is the activation that we're gonna do today. Is gonna be a fun activation to help you to bring back that inner child and to not stifle it anymore, but allow that to come to the surface. And those of you guys that have been a little too serious, we're gonna get some fun and lightness in this activation. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, popcorn, health bar, whatever you like, and let's get right into the content today. Hello everyone, this is Lightstar, and we're back here for another exciting episode on this beautiful channel that I've created, which has lots of fun and energy and activation and all sorts of good stuff. I have decided to come on and do a fun activation today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the inner child. So I'm really excited. On my social channels, I had put this out there for you guys to, respond back with any kind of content that you would like, or, new things. And I got some great ideas from a lot of you. And I had one of the comments that came back that somebody wanted to hear about, which was the inner child and some inner child healing and all of that. So that's a big topic, right? We're going to talk about inner child. But I felt like I was going to come on here and just to do some inspiration and some prompting for our inner childs, because at this time right now, we're having to do a lot on the planet. All of us are. And we're having a lot of, things that are coming in our direction, all different ways. We just get sideswiped by things, and we're getting a lot of barrage, is a better word for it, of a lot of energy. And so because of the heaviness and the density of that energy, it sometimes tends to squelch or squash or repress our fun and our lightness and our joy. Okay, so, and even in beginning stages of thinking about this in terms of what I was gonna, present to you guys to be of service here, I actually have a bracelet on that's kind of like fun and it makes some sounds and noises, and I really like that. It reminds me of the little child, and for some reason those little bells, it also has energies of the fairy energies, which I know when I do a light language activation later on that the fairies are going to come through for this particular topic, because this has to do with fun, and fairies like to have fun. So there's a lot of that energy, but I just want to say that because we're having some of that heaviness and just that density that we live here on the planet, that's dense anyway, and then we have things going on that are causing it to even be more dense and more and heavier. And I want to help to, lighten the load for that heaviness, and so that we can bring space back for that beautiful inner child, okay? And inner child to me it really has to do with getting in touch with that part of yourself. For those of you guys that aren't really understanding, or most people know what inner child is, but just in case you don't, it's that part of you that is always going to be the lightest energy of you, and it's going to be connected directly to source. Okay, so it is part of you, it is part of your soul, and it's part of the soul that hasn't necessarily gotten disrupted by all of the chaos around us. But in having said that, our inner child does get affected by the density and the heaviness, but more so that part of us, that inner joy, that lightness, that connection directly to source, that just wants to play and have fun and enjoy life and enjoy experiences and open up, to whatever is in your environment. All of that can, when we go through difficult times like traumas and things that have really dampened us on a long period of time, or if you've gone through pain, you know, maybe you've had physical pain for a really long time and it's just this constant pain, it tends to dampen that lighter energies and pull you away from it. But the inner child also gets affected because if you, let's just say, ignore or in some ways abandon your inner child, which can happen, just like it's no different than if you have a child in your life and you neglect that child and you just shun it and you don't pay attention to the child, okay, what is going to happen? Okay, that inner child is not going to be able to flourish and come out and just be light and happy and fun. It's going to feel like you don't care about it, and it's going to have, I don't want to say it, he or she, you know, like energetically is going to feel like they are not important and like they don't matter, and they grow up that way. Okay, so that's what happens to your physical child, and then they can have insecurity problems and different issues that arose from that. Well, the same thing with your inner child. It's that part of you that does need attention, okay, that does need nourishment, and it does need the expansive arena for which it to grow and flourish. So that's what I feel the inner child is that part. And it can get, I don't want to call it, say, damaged, but the trauma of life can cause it to not be able to be a part of your own life. And so, and because of that, you end up being very serious all the time, right? And you don't necessarily know how to have fun or relax, okay? And so these things are it affects all of us differently. I understand that. So this is a blanket statement about how it could affect you, because actually the inner child could turn revengeful. Vengeful? Revengeful. I don't know if that's a word. Could be vengeful about, because they've been hurt so bad that they end up doing things that go more on the lines of the dark side of things and start to do really defiant type of activity or behavior, okay? And that may be coming from the inner child who also didn't feel loved and was pushed in a corner or pushed away and didn't have that, or abused, okay? So that's also a whole nother thing too, with that whole nother layer. There's many different ways that your inner child can react or behave or retreat, okay, and disappear. I've had many times where I've taken myself through guided journeys, or other people that I've taken through guided journeys, and I see their higher selves, watching and providing the space for this whole experience to show your inner child. Where is your inner child? And most of the time I see, that inner child, for example, could be in a house locked in the closet, and that's where they've been the whole time because you forgot about them, didn't come in and open the door, rectify the relationship that you have with your inner child, and so they've gotten locked away. And that's not a good thing. So we do need to go back and do some kind of what's called soul retrieval of really your inner child, to bring that inner child back out and to have you connect with that part of yourself, which is basically the part of your soul, your lightness, your God light, okay? The connection that you have, your spiritual connection to source, is very much tied up into that. And so when you re-establish that relationship between you and your inner child, you heal a part of yourself that goes beyond words even. And it's just such a beautiful experience to see. Some of my clients that I've done this with too, is just to see their whole body just change and light up and have that connection again with themselves as part of yourself that you have disassociated with. And so that's what I want to share about the inner child and how it can get repressed and how it affects us, because it makes us not be able to do what we want to do here, is to enjoy life, to be a part of life, and to explore and have that discovery and adventure and exploration that we have when we're children. And if we don't allow ourselves to do that, we tend to block off a part of ourselves. I hope you guys are enjoying this content, and if you are, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. YouTube likes to call it subscribe. I like to call it joining the tribe. And also, while you're here, hit the like button if you would like the video, and also share it and comment and interact. I love to interact with you guys, so make sure you interact here by placing comments. And also make sure to hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss a thing on new videos when they come out. And if you're also wanting to watch me over on other platforms, I'm on Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute and Brighteon. Those links are down below as well, and you can watch me over there if you prefer. And also, if you yourself need some re-platforming assistance to move from one location, or you want to expand and grow or move from YouTube to other platforms, Matthew Raymer is a great resource. He helped me to move all of my content over to these other platforms so I could expand, and he's a really great service and resource. His information is also below, so you can check that out as well. So having said that, that's what I wanted to bring forward today, was just a little bit of lightness and energy to help connect that lighter, happier, joyful part of oneself, to connect and reestablish that relationship that you have with you and your inner work and your inner life and that inner soul and that inner child. All of it. It's the inner part of you going within, but most specifically going to the part that has been either in yourself. Think about this in your own life. What part of yourself has been sort of severed in a way and left over here, while the other adult part of you traversed off and just tried to do it alone? Because most of us have that split where it's like, if you at some point tried to, I know I did, I'll be the adult, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and yet you do it without the fun, you do it without the lightness, you do it without that. It's like you're half a person, really, in some ways, because you've forgotten about a very important part of yourself. And so that's really, really vital, okay? Especially right now when we need to have some joy in life. And what are the ways that you can have joy and happiness and lightness? Is go outside. If you can't get outside, I know sometimes, like especially around here in the summertime, it just gets so hot. I don't even want to go outside when it's that hot. I'm not a fan of like 100-degree weather, but you have to deal with that in the summer. Then you find other ways, you find other things that you can do that still bring you that fun and joy and happiness, even if it's not, baking in the sun outside in 100 degrees and sweating. But it can be fun if you're going out and, going in the water or something like that. You can make it fun. So, but there's other things that you have to think about. What are the things that you like to do that you've cut yourself off from and haven't done for a while that you really want to bring back into your life? And that's the main message of this whole video here for me, is to share it with you guys, to bring back something that brings you joy, something that brings you fun, and something that brings you lightness in spite of all the heavy, dark, crazy, stuff that's going on around you that feels like it's closing in on you. Okay, so with that said, the light language activation for today is obviously going to be what? What? Does anybody say what? It's going to be fairy activation. That's just what I was getting. So to do this, I would like to do a couple of things. I'm going to do the activation, but I also would like to bring up one of my favorite images that I created, that is the magical Faerie Pools. And I'm just going to show this up on screen just because I think you guys will really appreciate this with this activation of fun and happiness and joy and bringing that lightness back. Okay, so just enjoy this image. This is all of fairy fun. And imagine yourself being here in this place, and maybe you guys can return to this place after this, that you are here and just enjoying your life and getting back in touch with that lighter, happier part of you, inside of you, if you've locked it away and it hasn't had a chance to come out and play. Okay, so let's get that part of you out so it can play and enjoy and have fun. All right. So we'll see what comes, but I know the fairies are part of this activation. So just enjoy and just breathe For you guys that are familiar with my light language activations, you know to put your mind off to the side, but go into your heart right now. This is especially where we want to be, in the heart space, and allow yourself to experience joy, happiness, fun, lightness, and magical fairy dust as well. Now, as you know, some of you guys have heard fairy before. I have to do this in a whisper, so I'm going to try to do this closer to the microphone because it's more of a whisper. I can't really do it any other way. That's how the fairies come. But when it turns into something else, which might come later, then you'll be able to hear a voice. So just breathe, take a nice deep breath, and release. Shanasiya satata sotai karmasati. O satata shitara daramasatitya. Kora santatira sotoroshia. Sokoyetana sayenti. O shanamatarisa. Sotolesira darikira. Orarasa istoro soto. Mata tekira. Shotoroso keataritesa. O tatsitia. Shayata taritike. Sotari mesa tarea sokoyashite. Soto sutai shataya taka. O tadanan tetari tarada. Soto shukurete di biarata. Sakiyata shokayan. Wadoroso kaya. Taramashiatara. Watiyata so. Sharitika tarita. Maradaso. Parishitaria. Sotoro saya tarmakereti. Sitariata. Ororo joro taraya. Saram sarashibirasi. Hale halala sanini ala mataria. Urundu estaria tur ali satarira. Torudonno tiri alalate manche asata lektu kuratai te sotai maruntu isitiri ariteria hurianasiri arandiria tasaramar uraite rari soroto der iran alboro mar undari alasa iteri udora tu sora teirini rar aritur unduriar namaya Taranchia cha sonda sisun ein tusuti iriti satayo variete so kurishi watis haratum itira talalesiti marombareshi armanja soto mainte mangiri alas wataiseti iritar tusore kipi Daria tanar araso shunoro utsu akibi utu aki isatar niritere orosoteo washitare atan asiatara jasa wasatia shotoremiata parite kwa kayetes watatasan daritarias watati torimasa wasayete shotora Kayeteresi toda ramatizia. Tareda soto damachita. Koretari tur also taete shoto kayete mati. Satayete tisho akidosho. Aremetesi atarara kayata. Azuso satian. Narisi oshai ukaya. Marite sarariar. Just take a nice deep breath in and breathe in the fairy hugs that just provided you with all this magical light and this fairy dust. We had some of the elven energy coming in, this sort of elven fairy magic that came in to help you become that lighter part of yourself more often in life, and to not shut that away so much, to bring that out, to bring that joy back into your life. So if you've been feeling this, and you've been feeling this sort of depressive or heavier energy, Now's your chance to promote that lightness, that happy energy, that fun and joy and adventure back into your life, and do something that you haven't done before, or just explore, or just expand, or do something, take some time off, put the work aside, do something that's fun and that doesn't require so much of the mental, thoughts, and just let it be. Go play with the butterflies. Go find some butterflies, play with the birds, go outside and just listen to the birds, or something that just brings you back to peace and joy and happiness, or go swing on the swings, or play in the sand if you're around at the beach. Something that gets you out of your mind, literally, in a good way. And so that's what I wanted to bring forth today, just this sort of activation for you guys. I also want to, I'm kind of just feeling guided to pick some cards from the Fairies Light cards, okay? So they want to pick some cards today just for fun, just because. So before I go, I'm just gonna have little messages from the fairies about your inner child, okay? So that's what this is about. And I'm gonna pick from my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards, which a lot of you are familiar with, and that is what I'm going to be picking here, okay? So we're just choosing this. Cards stacked here. What do the fairies have to say about working with your inner child or your inner child, okay? What do we get? Destiny. We have destiny, divine purpose, passion, and service. And isn't that apropos, right? Because we're dealing with what? Fairies. This is actually a fun card, but it has to do with your purpose. So, but it's more of a fun activation. So it's like you getting activated for your divine purpose. And so the message that I'm getting right now is that with this card is that if you are waiting to be activated to your mission or your purpose, sometimes if people are going through this, I'm just getting some people might be going through this, trying to decipher what their purpose is and where they're supposed to go with their purpose or what they're supposed to do. And it's more mental up here, that your purpose may come when you go out and have the fun and get back in touch with your inner child and go appreciate life and just get out in joy and fun, happiness mode, and that your actual divine purpose may show up in the place of that, or you might get those light bulb ideas that come off when you're in that place. Okay, so it's a lighter place to be when you're trying to, figure that stuff out. So, what's another? Okay, let's pick another card. What do we want to say? We've got Dreamscape. By the way, Destiny was number 9. Well, you probably saw it up on screen. Dreamscape, number 10. And this is about dream work, subconscious, and imagination. Imagination, use your imaging abilities to, and also this is also going to clear out some of the subconscious stuff that's also holding you back from your inner child and from being in your inner child and having that lightness back, okay? Sometimes subconscious programming that we have to get out of that mode. And we've been sort of locked down and maybe programmed to, for so long, perhaps, that you've put your inner child aside, that you literally have to go back into a different whole neural pathway that has to happen, because your pattern currently isn't bringing you any benefit to coming back into your inner child, because it's like you've gone off into this passageway that has no inner child. So we have to kind of change the neural pathways to go back to a place where there is the space and the time for you to play and enjoy and have fun. Okay, so that is just subconscious programming that we've programmed ourselves to against that, and that it's not okay to do that, or it's bad to do that, or we don't have the time to do that. Okay, so that's what that's all about. And let's see, lastly, oops, almost dropped the whole deck on the floor. Okay, lastly, we're gonna choose, Breakthrough, number 4, leap of faith, freedom, and new beginnings. So this is all about traversing into the adventure, trying something new, especially on purpose. If you have been having trouble and it's not working, like go into a different direction and just kind of move into a different direction of something new, do something new, try something new. And sometimes your purpose comes also in that way. Okay, so this is about being on purpose, but having fun while being on purpose. So I think that's what they're trying to get the message across, because they start out with all the fun, the lightness, and then it's about purpose. And you're like, well, but they're saying, no, don't make it so difficult, so challenging. Make it lighter, make it happier with the happier energies. And that's what's going to bring in the lightness. So that's our message from the fairies today, and the Elven as well, and energies. So I really want to thank you guys for sharing with me and letting me share the activation. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you guys would like to donate to my work and support me on this journey, you can check out my website at lightstarcreations.com, and I have a donation page there. I also have it linked below in the description area, that page, and you can provide your donations via vibrational giving, or you can do it any amount that you would like. You can also become a patron over at Patreon. Yeah, Patreon over there. And you can also give super thanks on YouTube. There's a little heart thing that's super thanks. That's another way you can do this. But there's many different ways to support me on my journey here. And I really appreciate you guys, all of your support, all of your energy. And I always, now I'm providing a new thing where I'm sending you guys back a light language blessing every time someone donates in any way of any of those ways, that I'm going to send back a blessing directly for you, just as a thank you for that, and also to just provide some abundance blessings right back for you. So thanks you guys for all of your donations. I so appreciate it, and I really love you guys for all of your generosity. As always, you guys, I have so many sessions to work with on my site that you can check out if you'd like to work with me more privately. On my website is lightstarcreations.com, and you can see all the many different things I have available with all of my sessions, private sessions. I have my, obviously, Oracle deck, which is my Magical Dimensions deck, and my Celestial Frequencies Oracle, which is coming out. It's on pre-order right now, and it should be coming out summertime, although it's probably going to be late summer, and it might be early fall. We've had a few delays, just an FYI, with it, but it's in the works. We've just had some things that have delayed. So shipping wise, it may not be shipping until later August or possibly early fall, the timeline here, but you can still purchase that and reserve your copy on my website. And as I always have all of my artwork, all the fairy artwork that you see, and all the other images that I have are up on screen, so you can also check those out. And all of my music, tons of music activations and journeys, Vision Quest, Transcension 2222, and my Music 444 activation. So you can check all that stuff out. Many different things that I have to offer, as you can see here on screen. And I will be back with some more activation for you guys. So I want to thank you for joining me here in this inner child journey and experience. And I love you guys. I send you off with so much love from the fairies, galactics, angelics, all of your higher selves, the higher guidance that we get from all the masters. And just to be in touch with your inner child again. So go out and play. That's the message, and that's your homework. Go out and play and enjoy life, okay? And we'll see you back next time. Bye for now.